Microsoft Dynamics 365 Business Central Functional Consultant MB-800 exam dumps have been updated, which are valuable for you to study. Share some updated Microsoft MB-800 exam dumps here. 1. You are a functional consultant configuring items in Dynamics 365 Business Central. You are configuring multiple units of measure for an item that has a base unit of measure of PCs and an additional unit of measure of box. One box holds 20 PCs of an item. You need to define the relationship between the units of measure. Which value should you populate on the item units of measure page for the item? A. For the PC's unit of measure, set the QTY per unit of measure to 0.05. B. For the PC's unit of measure, set the QTY per unit of measure to 20. C. For the box unit of measure, set the QTY per unit of measure to 20. D. For the box unit of measure, set the QTY per unit of measure to 0.05. 2. A company is implementing Dynamics 365 Business Central. Vendor open balances need to be posted to the General Ledger (GL) account directly by using the General Journal. You need to configure the GL account to allow users to post vendor open balances to payables accounts. Which setting should you use? A. Account category. B. Income, balance. C. Default deferral template. D. Direct posting. 3. A company uses Dynamics 365 Business Central. You need to configure the system to automatically add any appropriate sales invoice discounts to sales documents. What should you do? A. On the Sales and Receivables Setup page, select CAC INV discount. B. On the Sales and Receivables Setup page, select Invoice Discount in Discount Posting. C. On the Sales and Receivables Setup page, select Lowest Price in Price Calculation Method. D. On the Customer Card, select Invoice Disc Code. 4. A company uses Dynamics 365 Business Central. You need to ensure that sales invoice discounts are calculated automatically. What should you configure? A. Calc INV discount setting on the Sales and Receivables Setup page. B. Discount posting setting on the Sales and Receivables Setup page. C. Calc INV discount setting on the Purchase and Payables Setup page. D. Show amounts setting on the General Ledger Setup page. 5. A company uses Dynamics 365 Business Central. The company plans to use multiple unit prices for the same items from different vendors. You need to configure the purchase price of the items. In which two locations can you configure the purchase price? Each correct answer presents a complete solution. Note: each correct selection is worth 1 point. A. Resource prices. B. Item card. C. Customer card. D. Purchase order. E. Vendor card. 6. A company implements Dynamics 365 Business Central. The company plans to automatically post inventory-related documents simultaneously when posting sales transactions. You need to configure sales and receivables. Which two settings should you use? Each correct answer presents a complete solution. Note: each correct selection is worth 1 point. A. Return receipt on credit memo. B. Stock warning. C. Shipment on invoice. D. Document default line type. 7. A company uses Dynamics 365 Business Central. An accountant posts bank entries at month end. The accountant must manually reconcile customer and vendor payment entries. You need to reconcile the entries. Which 2 pages should you use? Each correct answer presents part of the solution. Note: each correct selection is worth 1 point. A. Customer ledger entries. B. Vendor ledger entries. C. Check ledger entries. D. Bank account ledger entries. 8. A company is using Dynamics 365 Business Central. The finance manager creates a new general ledger (GL) account. You need to configure the system to include the GL account in the General Journal reconciliation window. What should you do? A. Enable the reconciliation account field in the GA account card. B. Enable the direct posting field in the GL account card. C. Add this GL account to the bank account posting group. D. Create a new payment reconciliation journal. 9. A company uses Dynamics 365 Business Central. When users create sales documents, the system must display an alert that shows the customer's remaining credit. The alert must also notify the user if the customer has any overdue payments. You need to configure a credit limit and overdue payment warning. What should you do? A. Enable the exact cost reversing mandatory field. B. Configure the block customer field. C. Select both warnings in the credit warnings field. D. Configure the late payment predict extension. 10. You are using the Suggest Vendor Payments batch job to create payment lines for vendors. You have a vendor invoice. The payment date must be 2 days before the invoice due date. You need to pay the purchase invoice. Which 2 fields should you configure? Each correct answer presents part of the solution. Note: each correct selection is worth 1 point. A. Find payment discounts. B. Calculate posting date from applies to doc due date. C. Applies to doc due date offset. D. Summarize per vendor.